Hello, everyone. Kenton Kivestu from the RocketBlocks team here. In this mock interview video, we're sitting down with Eva Morgenstein, who is a product manager at JPMorgan focused on payments products. And in this mock interview video, we're going to ask her the classic product management interview question: what is your favorite product and why? And how would you improve it? So let's go ahead and see Eva's take.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what is, pick any product out there. Tell me what is your favorite product? Why is it your favorite product? And, one way you could actually think about improving that actual
Sure. So my favorite product far and away is called GAIA GPS.
product. Okay.
That's essentially a phone application that you can download to your iPhone or Android, which allows you to download GIS maps, which are tracked and put together by governments and really completely accurate, or as accurate as maps can get.
Yep.
And you can download these maps onto the application, and then you can access them offline, and you can also see where your location is relative to the map and relative to where you are on the map. And that's kind of a primer on it, but to dive into it a little bit more, the business case of this application is really that it gets subscribers like me and says, in turn for your subscription monthly fee, we will give you access to all of these maps, and we'll also give you the functionality to be able to design your own trails that you're going to hike on in the back country and access them offline. And
Mm.
what we'll also do is we'll provide you with information about your hiking trip. So what elevation are you at? How far have you gone? And most importantly for me is exactly what the elevation is and the terrain that's around you.
Okay.
So that's kind of the app as a whole, and then the app's business case is designed around users actually subscribing to it monthly or annually.
Got it. And what does it cost like monthly to use this application and have access to those maps?
I believe it's about $20 to $40 a month monthly, and then
Oh, wow.
the annual and lifetime fees are slightly different.
Okay.
But I've had mine for a long time, so I can't remember.
No worries.
Yeah.
And so your use case sounds like it's mainly for like tracking and understanding the terrain, elevation things when you're hiking in backcountry, or maybe doing other sort of outdoor activities in backcountry.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of potential use cases for it, but my personal use case for it, and really the only one that I can speak to because of that, is really for backpacking, and it's threefold. The first thing that I want to do is know where I am at a given time, and I can do that on the application even if I don't have self signal.
Yep.
The second thing that I want to do is understand where I am in relation to whatever trail I've created or in relation to my surroundings. So I
Mm.
want to know, am I on the trail? Am I off the trail? Am I on the trail I want to be on, or am I on a different trail that just looks like one? And then the third use case is really, I want to know what kind of terrain is around me. And I want to know what is entailed with changing my trajectory. And a good example of this use case for me is I might be wondering if I should stop for water now or stop for water later, and know that I have to wander off of my trail to be able to get it. If the elevation is incredibly steep and there's a cliff, it might look like the water is close, but it's actually inaccessible.
Yep.
And so that's a critical piece of information for me when I'm backpacking. But those are really my three use cases for using the application, though you could use it for other things.
Got it. Cool. And so tell me a little bit, like in contrast to something like Google Maps, where my understanding, I haven't used it a ton, but I think you can actually download a segment of a map and so that you can have it available offline. I don't know if you can sort of make your own trail on that map, but to sort of give me the contrast of like, why doesn't Google Maps, which would be a lot cheaper to use than this, work for you for these uses?
Absolutely. So you can download a Google Maps map and have it offline. What you can't necessarily do is see where trails exist. And this is kind of one of the big benefits of using Gaia GPS or All Trails, which is a different application, which is slightly more competitive with it,
Yeah.
instead of Google Maps. Because if I download a certain type of map of the region that I'm going to, it will show me where there are established trails. And that is good for having information about where I could create a reasonable trail where I know people have gone on it before, or if I want to kind of go backcountry off-roading and what's entailed with that. So it really has the topographic aspect, and it also allows you to see where trails exist already.
Got it. Okay, cool. And tell me about like one idea of like how could you take something like Gaia GPS and make it even better than it is today?
Absolutely. So one of my pain points with Gaia GPS is that when you're actually determining what trail you want to do, no matter if other people have done it before, if you're in the backcountry, you essentially have to draw it out on your map using your finger. So you have to say, I want to take the High Sierra Trail to the Mountain Ridge Trail to the Black Rock Trail or whatever, and you have to draw it in yourself. And one of the places that I've seen a huge opportunity for them to change that is essentially saying, well, I know I saw other hikers that were on these trails. I was not the only person, and they were actually established trails, even though they were in pretty remote wilderness. So if those other hikers were to put in what their route was into GAIA GPS and be able to share it somehow, I could click on it and just adopt it rather than having to drag my finger around my phone and actually chart a path. So that's the one thing that I would say that it could do better. That being said, it's not really addressing my main use cases, which the product does perfectly right now. So that's why it's still my favorite.
Got it. Okay, cool. Sounds good. And I guess just thinking about that feature itself, it seems like, so if you were to actually create one of these trails, High Sierra to Black Rock, then you'd potentially have the option or something to like save that, and future versions of you or other folks that are using the app, they'd have access to that same path that you took.
And to clarify, you can't actually save your own trails. So if I wanted to go back and hike what I hiked in August, I could go back and hike that. But if I wanted to go off-roading or go to a different trail that I've never hiked to before, I don't really have a way to select what it is.
Okay.
Whereas
so a lot of the components are already there because they're already saving a library of your own thing. It's just I can't see your trails and vice versa.
Yeah, its social aspect is very limited.
Got it. Okay. And do you think that would be technically tough for them to do?
Yeah, I'm sure it would be. I think it would be almost an entirely different application if they were to focus on that aspect, which is why it's still my favorite product, regardless of the annoyance of having to draw out your own trail.
Got it. Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you.